Next part is autonomic nervous system. Autonomic nervous system transmits impulses from central nervous system to the involuntary organs and smooth muscles. So it can regulate the activities of cardiac muscles, smooth muscles, glands, etc. That is, ANS regulates the activities of involuntary organs of body. In this, impulses are conducted from CNS by an axon that synapses with an autonomous ganglion called a preganglionic neuron. That is, there is a preganglionic neuron that arises from central nervous system and goes to the ganglion of autonomous nervous system. The second neuron in this ganglionic pathway has an axon that extends from autonomic ganglion to an effector organ called postganglionic neuron. That is, there is another neuron arising from the ganglion of ANS and goes to the effector organ, which is called as postganglionic neuron. ANS consists of sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. It has two parts. One is called sympathetic nervous system and parasympathetic nervous system together makes up autonomic nervous system. The autonomic nervous system is called so because it works independently and involuntarily with the minimum influence of CNS, hence called autonomous. Autonomous means independent. That is, ANS or autonomic nervous system is partially dependent and partially independent of central nervous system. We can see in the diagram central nervous system, preganglionic fiber, ganglion, postganglionic fiber and the effector organ. Sympathetic nervous system. This system is called thoracolumbar outflow because the preganglionic neurons arises from thorax and lumbar regions of spinal cord. It consists of a pair of sympathetic cords present on either side of vertebral column. Each cord is made up of a chain of 22 sympathetic ganglion. Preganglionic nerve fibers arises from thoracic and lumbar regions of spinal cord and they are short. The postganglionic nerve fibers are long. It works through neurotransmitters called adrenaline and noradrenaline. Hence the nerves are generally called as adrenergic. See this diagram how it this is brain and spinal cord. This is sympathetic cord on either side of the vertebral column. Each made up of sympathetic ganglion. Each has got 22 sympathetic ganglion. The neuron which arises from the vertebral column and go to the sympathetic ganglion are called as preganglionic fiber. I am making the preganglionic fibers arising from the vertebral column and go to the sympathetic cords. And the neurons which arises from the sympathetic cord and go to the effector organs. These neurons are called as the postganglionic fiber. So sympathetic nervous system comprises a pair of sympathetic cord. Each has got 22 ganglions. It has got preganglionic fiber as well as postganglionic fiber. Preganglionic fiber arises from vertebral column, go to the ganglion of the sympathetic nervous system, and postganglionic fiber arises from the ganglion and go to the effector organs. Then parasympathetic nervous system. This system is also called craniosacral outflow because the preganglionic fibers arises from extreme anterior end and extreme posterior end of CNS. The parasympathetic ganglia lie close to the visceral organ, so the postganglionic fibers are short. The preganglionic fibers are long while the postganglionic nerve fibers are short. The neurotransmitter is acetylcholine, therefore the nerves are called cholinergic. Parasympathetic nervous system retards the functioning of visceral organs. In case of parasympathetic nervous system, we have structures like this. We have brain and spinal cord. These are the presympathetic neurons arises from the extreme anterior end and extreme posterior end of the CNS. So it is called as craniosacral outflow. And the postganglionic fibers are very short because the parasympathetic ganglions are present on the organs or near the organs. Parasympathetic nervous system retards the functioning of visceral organs. The points in the slides are arranged in such a way that you can write a distinguish between sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. Antagonistic activities of sympathetic and parasympathetic. Organ, heartbeat, sympathetic nervous system increases, parasympathetic decreases. Blood vessel, sympathetic effect, constriction, and parasympathetic effect is dilation. Arterial blood pressure, sympathetic effect increases, parasympathetic decreases. Organ is pupil of eye, sympathetic effect is dilation and parasympathetic effect is constriction. Gastrointestinal movement retards sympathetic effect, retards peristalsis and accelerates peristalsis. Urinary bladder, it relaxes the bladder while contracts the bladder by parasympathetic nervous system. Both works in an antagonistic manner. Both sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system works in an antagonistic manner in order to maintain a constant internal condition or homeostasis. Thank you.